we'll go on to the next presenters, Nick and Dylan. So to briefly introduce both of them, they're actually staff members who, Nick is part of our extended team, I consider, because he works in the Faculty of Education. And Dylan, I believe, is part of the Makerspace, but both of them are also instructors in the interactive arts and science, and they're co-teaching, which is such a great practice. Leanne and I have done that numerous years, and it's a really great practice. So I'm really happy that they volunteered to come and share what they were doing, which is really interesting. So if I can pass it to Nick and Dylan.
Hi, everyone. As Julia mentioned, Dylan and I are co-instructing the level design and in immersive media course with interactive arts and science. We're here to talk today about, one, how we're doing sort of forum discussion and assignment submission through a tool called Discord, which is sort of a gaming communication platform, as well as some of our experimentation with H5P in line with creating content modules. So I'm going to pass it along to Dylan to start us off.
Sounds like a brilliant plan. I'm just going to quickly pull up a presentation here, just to quickly give some quick visual examples of what I'm going to be talking about. So the first portion here, I'm going to go over and quickly cover the tool Discord, why we picked it, what benefits we found from it, and what we've really been benefiting from. So skip that forward one. Welcome to Discord. Discord is, as Nick pointed out, an online communication tool that has a variety of very, very robust features that we were already familiar with because it is a gaming platform. Nick and I game together. So this was a tool we were already very familiar with. But what was more important was that this is a tool that the students were already familiar with, and this is where our students already were. This wasn't a tool that was going to be new to them, and they were already going to have a lot of familiarity with the system, to the point that we're very happy that Discord is as robust a platform as it is, because it means we can do assert a lot of control over what the students can and cannot see at any point in time. As a general example of this is our welcome channel in Discord. And what I mean by welcome channel is much of the way that you have channels inside of teams, or you can have different teams. On the left side of the little image here you've got all these different channels. You've got two voice channels and text channels. Voice channels you can pop into and have voice. You can have video. You can share a screen. It's fantastic. Text channels are text, but they can be embedded. They can have formatting. And the great part about each of these channels is you can give very specific role assignments. So for example, you can see that this big old post here on our welcome channel is posted by me. Now I've renamed myself inside of this specific Discord channel to Instructor Dylan. And I've also given myself a special role. Nick and I both share an instructor role, which is basically, we have the keys to the kingdom. It's very similar to what you'd find on Sakai inside of the instructor role. However, you can also make as many roles with as many controls and as many tools as you'd like. So all of the students have 3 roles. They are a student, they have a discussion group, and they have their own unique role. The reason that we do that is if they're a student, I can give them access to certain channels, and I can give them access to certain privileges simply by being a student. So if you look on the left side again, inside of those text channels, it's very small, but you'll notice most of the channels on the top right little corner have a little lock on all of them. You can't access those unless you have certain permissions. Nick and I as instructors can see them all. A student in our course only sees the welcome channel, the general questions, the online discussion, and their own unique Your Instructor chat. It's individualized. And just to quickly answer that question, yes, Discord is completely free. There is a big flag with that I was going to get to, but it's not supported by Brock, so there is no support coming officially from Brock. This is a tool that Nick and I were already very familiar with, so we're very comfortable using it, and we knew the students are as well. And knowing that we have all these robust controls, there's a couple other perks that are very, very beneficial to us. The first big one that we like to really sink into is this lovely guy. So in our course, we have 6 online discussion groups, where traditionally these would be our forums that we could use on Sakai. We've elected to use them inside of Discord. Why? For a couple of reasons. One, we find it is way more similar to what is an instant messaging service. So, students are already using WhatsApp, text messaging, Facebook Messenger. This is already very akin to that experience. It has a lot of the same formatting. You're able to @ people very, very easily. It's live updated. You receive notifications. That's been a huge one for us. Discord is also supported on a mobile and a desktop format. So if there is a conversation occurring in their groups, if the student is just on the bus on their phone, bing, they get a notification on Discord that a conversation is happening. That creates a whole different dynamic than when a Sakai post goes up. There's a possibility that they might notice it, or they know they have to check it. What's been really great this year, because we've changed how we did our online discussion format from last year, is we're finding the students are actually having a conversation due to this. It's less, here is a post, and here's my response to it. Now it's, here's the topic, and here's all of the conversation we're having going down. I've taken the liberty of blurring out all of our student information on this particular page, but those are all different people that are having a conversation. And that is only a small excerpt of their conversation. Something very exciting that Nick and I noticed this year, where we're happy if we can get them to have, a response to the prompts, because that facilitates their grades. But this was an engaged conversation that the students were having. Another good question just popped up by Netta. The work is assessed. Basically, their online discussion groups are assessed from a analysis of their critical thinking, because what we're doing is we're giving them a prompt on the week's subject matter, and it's not a prompt that is explicitly has a right or wrong answer, because what we're trying to look for is how they explore the topic and taking their understanding that they should have gotten from our content that Nick will show off at the later part of this presentation, and how they can form their own opinion around it and construct their own thoughts on it. It's been working pretty well so far. Which will pop me out to the fourth section here, just so I can make sure that it is known and available. This handy dandy little, oops, yeah, no worries. This handy dandy little last section are your instructor chats. Each student has their own individualized your instructor chat, because I'm sure, as many of us are familiar with as an instructor, when you ask a student to email you, at least for us, we find that very rarely has a follow-through. Most of our students try to contact us in other ways. If we're able to be available during our tutorial hours or our office hours, by all means, hey, that's fantastic. We're there. If they don't come to that, though, we found giving them a platform that is their own specific channel that just for them to ask us questions. And also, as you can see here, they're submitting their assignments via this platform as well. So it's all in one continuous space where we're able to very easily give feedback to the last assignment they provided, or we're able to keep track of where each of these assignments are before passing their grades through inside of the gradebook in Sakai. So very, very robust tool. Again, always give the marker that Brock does not offer official support for this tool. This is something we're comfortable with, but the great success that we found with this tool so far is simply the robustness of it and the fact that it has everything inside of it, and it's way more familiar to them using an instant messaging app. It's way more familiar to them using text. Everything we have is completely under our control here, and through the really dynamic role assignment, that's student, their unique ID, and what discussion group they're in, we can have a lot of control over what students can and cannot do, down to the fact that we can control whether they can or cannot use certain emojis once you get familiar enough with Discord. Happy to take any questions about this at the end of the presentation, by all means. But yeah, for now, I'm going to pass it off to Nick, who's going to show you, now that this is where we have our students communicate and show off a lot of their work, where do they actually see our work? Off to you, Nick.
Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Dylan. For the most part, I think the Discord channel worked really well for the weekly assignments that we did. We still use the assignments tool in Sakai to sort of take in larger written submissions and things like that. But for the most part, when it came to submission of media and submission of short written responses, Discord really, we really enjoyed the platform in that way. So I'm